Give some love for your host, Mr. Dan Ellison, y'all. Show some love. And all the other comedians you've seen so far. You guys are working hard tonight. My name is Sheeley, and I'm glad to be here. I got to go to work here in a minute. I can't drink tonight. So, I am working security still at a hotel down on the oceanfront. And they had a cheerleading convention last weekend. Young cheerleaders all over the hotel all weekend. So I'm making my rounds, and I come to the lobby, I see this one black young boy, about 11 years old. He's also a cheerleader. And so he was trying to get my attention, and he was getting his cheerleader on. He said, give me a S-E-C-U-R-I-T-Y, trying to get me to pay attention to him, calling me security, right? So I didn't want to mess with him. But I said, he better leave me alone, because if he was my son, I'd be shoving him pom-poms down his throat. So I was trying to be nice, so I was mad. So he kept on trying to get my, because I'm the father who didn't come to the event. He said, I want to show this other big black man right here that I'm proud that I'm a cheerleader and I'm good at what I do. And he was. He was good at giving me a S-E-C-U-R-I-T. I was standing security. So I said, okay, I got to say something to this kid. I can't leave him hanging. So I just looked at him and I said, listen, son, I'm not your father, and cheerleading is not going to make you happy. So that's what my cheerleading buddy. He was really good too. You know, I got potty trained when I was 10 years old. You know, I grew up in an older house, and we had, this is a real story, we had floor vents on the floor. And so at nighttime I would get up and pee in the floor vent because I didn't feel like going to the bathroom. So, you know, it was never a problem until winter when my father turned the heat on. And he was like, well, what is this smell in this house? I can't, and he could never figure it out. So one night I'm up, peeing in the vent because I don't feel like going to the bathroom. And so you know how you can tell when somebody's watching you? So I look at my peripheral and I see my father standing over there. And for 30 days I couldn't see or feel shit on my left side. I don't know what he hit me with. You know, my wife and I went to D.C. recently. And we stayed with some friends of ours, right? And you know how in D.C. they got basements. Now you know if you don't have a bed, they make what's called a pallet. You know what a pallet is? When you lay on the floor and they make blankets, it can be very comfortable in the right place. So we stayed in the basement, and it was really nice. So my wife and I lay on the pallet, and about 3 a.m. we feel something run across our feet. So we run upstairs and knock on their door and say, hey man, do y'all have any pets in the house or anything? And he said, look at his wife, and he said, no. I said, well, do y'all have any, I said, we felt something run across our feet a minute ago. Do you have any rats or roaches in the basement? He looked at his wife and said, well, I saw a couple last week. So I looked at my wife, and I looked at him, then I heard a car running and a horn blowing. And his wife went to the door, my wife was in the car and said, bring your ass over there, Negro, we're going home. So we drove home that night. Damn. You like that? We drove home from D.C. because he had rats on the floor and we weren't standing there. But the thing was how fast she was able to get from standing next to me, all our shit packed up, into the car, blowing the horn in between the time I stopped looking at her, looking at them. That's where the line was, you guys. Because you got it. Now, you know I'm from Cleveland, and you guys heard on the news these 3 young girls who've been held hostage for 10 years in Cleveland. So now you guys believe me from now on when I tell you about how bad Cleveland is. Yeah. You know, the neighborhood I grew in was so bad when I was a baby. I told you I used to wear a bulletproof diaper. Yes, and my pop used to say somebody changed that boy diaper, he smelled like gunpowder. And my playpen was made out of sandbags. That's Cleveland, y'all. Now I'm going to tell you about myself in Cleveland. Now, you know, you guys, I'm a salesman. Have been all my life. And we have yard sales here in Happy Road. And I had yard sales in Cleveland, but our yard sales in Cleveland were totally different. At our yard sales, everything is brand spanking new. So now I know you go to a yard sale and everything brand new, you're not at a yard sale, you're at a crime scene, shop fast. You know, and my grandmother used to babysit me when I was a kid. And I was always running around because I was kind of bad. So she would do stuff that was violent. So I'm running around all day. She said, boy, you better sit down, you're working on grandma's nerves. And so I wouldn't stop. So my grandma reached out one time and punched me in the eye. I said, Grandma, why you hit me in the eye? She said, come here, baby. Now, you know grandma did not hit that baby. Don't you tell nobody grandma hit that baby. So we got to running around the house with some friends of mine. My grandmother took a gun out and shot a round in the house. Boom. We said, Grandma, we can't believe you shot a gun in the house. She said, y'all come here. Now, y'all know Grandma ain't shot no gun in this house. Don't y'all tell nobody Grandma shot no gun in this house. Now, who's seen a gun? Which one of you babies seen a gun? Just say it right now. Which one seen a gun? And now somebody go upstairs and check on the baby and see if she got on her bulletproof diaper and she's resting upstairs. Okay, now as a salesman, I had a lot of energy back in the day. Now, when I got into sales, I had 7 business cards. 7 business cards. I sold everything to this day. I sold real estate. I sold cars. I sold Amway. I sold gerbils. I sold life insurance. I sold everything. I had so many business cards and bags. When I came to my client's house, they're like, why you got so many bags? Are you staying overnight? I said, I'm going to stay until you buy something. That's how long I stayed. And I want to teach you a trick about salespeople. This is a real deal. Salespeople always got something in their hand to drink. This is called liquid courage. And what this does is provide the salesperson an opportunity to think about a response to your question. For instance, first house I bought. My agent told me my payment would be $900 per month. I get to closing, my payment was $1,500. I asked my salesperson, I said, hey man, why is my payment so high? You said it would be $900. My agent said, what do you think? You go buy a house and nobody, and you don't pay tax and insurance? First car I bought. The guy said the car has 20,000 miles on it, right? I picked the car up. The car got 30,000 miles on it. I said, hey man, you said my car would have 20,000 miles on it. My agent said, what do you think? You're going to buy a car and nobody can drive it around for you? And you never know who's the boss. I got the light. You never know who's the boss in a relationship. I'm doing a presentation one night. I'm talking to the husband. I'm talking to the wife. I'm talking to the husband. And the wife finally says, listen. And the husband says, listen, stop wasting your time talking to my wife. I'm the boss of the house. I'm the boss of the house. House of the boss. I'm the boss of this house. And so he kept saying, don't bother with her. Talk to me. I'm the man in the house. So the wife got upset and this is what she did. She stood up. And she was a small lady from like a foreign country someplace. I think Norfolk. But anyway, she stood up and she pointed her finger at him. This guy was a huge guy. And she said, this is real. She pointed at her husband and she twirled her finger and she said, don't you say nothing else. And so I asked the guy, hey man, can I continue? He said, that's my time, she boy.